So, it is down to you, and it is down to me.
I'm all the way up, all the way up, I'm all the way up, I'm all the way up, nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. This is exclusive.
What up guys, it's your boy Jair K Dripmode, and guys, I've missed you. I've been taking a step back just because my career is taking a lot of my time, and then I come over to this hobby just to recalibrate, like I've always mentioned. It just helps me just stir the juices by changing the focus. And today we're gonna build a dial, and I want to talk about the figurines that I bought that are inspiring me to create the next style. Boom! Here you go guys, here's the classic Princess Bride, and McFarlane is coming back with those movie classics. And the reason why I'm focusing on these, I definitely have all of them, but the reason why I'm focusing on these three is because of Vinzzi. When I see this guy, first I think about
Inconceivable!
but besides that, I also think about the scene where they're having a battle of wits and Wesley is trying to rescue Buttercup. And I'm not gonna ruin it for you guys for those that haven't seen it, but go watch it. But he's definitely a character that's inspiring me in that scene. So what I'm thinking about is having that scene where they're sitting on a rock, they have some food and some wine, some cups, and they're on a mountain, and she's tied up, he has her hostage, and he's coming for the rescue. So that is the scene. That's the inspiration for today's dial. And by just thinking about that scene, I don't think it's gonna be a complicated dial. I think it's something that's gonna be kind of taking me back to my basics, but it's gonna help me focus on other things that I don't tend to use every day, like, you know, kind of asphalt scenery, you know, rocks and dirt, you know, that mountain, you know, outdoor scenery that you see a lot in like train dials. So I think this is a good opportunity, and just have fun with it, and going back to basics and not really going crazy, but really trying to capture that scene with these characters that McFarlane has given us. So I think that's what today's inspiration is going to be about, and let's get to it, guys. In this battle of wits, they're exchanging a drink that has poison, so they're going to be doing this on a rock. Now on the rock is a little bit taller than this, so that's what I'm going to be doing next, is building that rock. It's kind of like a table for them, so that big right here. So I'm going to be able to slice this guy in half, and I don't got to be perfect because we're going to be carving this guy, so it doesn't matter. That's even better. Let's glue it first. So I got my hot glue gun, and I'll get a nice amount in there. Okay, now let's glue them together, and booyah. So I got my foam cutter right here, and we're gonna start carving this guy. Cut this guy. I got my sanders, got a 140, I got a 120, and different types will let you, you know, remove a certain amount of texture, and the other one will smooth it out a bit more. So I'm gonna go with the rough one first. Taking advantage of this moment, measuring what I want to cut. Alright, so I'm going to fold this guy, and this will be that dinner tablecloth. Perfect for him. Alright, so the next portion, I'm making these accessories, and here's some apples. So I started working on them, came out pretty cool. I ended up making this cute little apple right here. This is just epoxy, so you guys can watch my other videos. It's just A and B, you mix it together and you start making them react, and this ends up becoming a hard piece of plastic after 8 hours. So I have these balls. It's probably like maybe an hour has passed by. It's hard enough to start catching form, but it's still soft enough for you to start creating some impact. So I'm gonna make that crease inside of the apple where the stem goes. Okay. Next up, we're gonna just be priming, so wash polish and black paint, and let's get to it. So I'm here playing around, just trying to get the composition of how this is gonna look. It's looking pretty dope. I am missing the logs, so I'm gonna try to see if I can find like a real branch. This area where they're at, it is kind of on a mountain, so there's like somewhat of a decline here. Maybe I should start manipulating the base. So kind of give it outline in around where they're at, so I know where the dirt will be, and then it kind of be like a guide for me. So like I already foresee it. You guys can see it too, right? Yeah, it's looking like it's going in the right direction. So alright guys, so it's time to manipulate the surface. So I'm experimenting here. So got a rock, boom, heavy one, and I got my foam cutter. So first I'm thinking is I'm gonna just start pressing on the foam to get those random textures. Even though I'm gonna carve, I'm just curious of what I get by doing this, you know. Sometimes I'm flying blind and I'm just trying to figure things out, seeing what things work. That's how you grow. Not bad. Now I'm gonna use my cutter. My cutter is probably gonna remove some of this, but again, we can always go back and forth. Here we go. I'm going a little crazy here, and I don't mind it because obviously we're gonna cover this. Keep pressing on this again to reintroduce those textures. That works. All right, time to prime. You really don't have to, especially we're gonna cover this with dirt. I always like to protect the foam just in case. All right, so now it's dry. I wanted to experiment with some new products, so I found this earth texture. It's supposed to look like dirt. It looks like it has particles. You don't have to do this. You could definitely just use paint with a little bit of sand, and this could do the same thing. But I wanted to try this. So I'm looking at it, and it definitely gives me some sandy. It's earth, so it's supposed to be imitating the ground. So it's not bad. I think I'm gonna wait, let it dry, and probably put another coat. Started to experiment. I have this sand that I had for the King Kong diorama, and I really want to make sure I get this sandy look and feel. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of just sprinkling it in all the areas that I think is necessary. Normally you would think is okay, you put adhesive in the bottom, and you can, but also you could put the adhesive on the top. So I'm just gonna put drops and just spread it, mix it in there. This is gonna dry, and then we're gonna paint over it. What I'm doing here, this is just glue and water. Okay, cool. So that's gonna take some time to dry. I'm gonna take some opportunity, and I got some bigger pebbles that I wanna just kind of sprinkle. So now let it dry and come back to it. While that's drying, I'm gonna start doing some dry brushing, and now I get a brush, get some white paint on the edges, Get a napkin and start dry brushing. I'm looking at the reference, it's starting to look like the stone. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna seal it and then continue with some washing. Alright, got some black wash and I'm just gonna spill it on top just to get that gray look. Remember, sometimes when you feel like your paint application is too bright, a wash will bring it back down. This is looking good right here. Kind of brings everything together. It's looking good. Looking good. Next part, we're gonna be painting on the sand. The sand looks good. It's just, I feel like I want to put some layers in there. So I'm mixing some paints, just trying to see what I come up with, and go from there. So I'm just mixing some light warm buff with some nutmeg right there. Let's see. See, I'm kind of dulling down that contrast. Alright. Not bad. Now we're gonna be doing some washing. Let's see. It starts bringing out those details. I may need to do more of a brown wash. So this is gonna help me blend in some of those details. And I'm applying it gently, letting it spread, but it's revealing all the little valleys in there. Like, it looks really cool. And again, once it dries, a level of saturation will you know, it won't be as dark as it looks right now. So again, don't be afraid. We're gonna put grass all over this. So start gluing these pieces together. Right now I have a pin just to remember where to put it, but definitely need to start gluing this down. I'm playing with some new glue, Zap. Never heard of it before. I was watching some videos on YouTube and I saw some guy using this, so I was kind of curious of its effect. So let's see. Okay. Okay. Should glue the middle part more, but look, it's already grabbing. That's pretty good. Okay. Start gluing them. So let's just start gluing over here. So Buttercup's sitting here, the Italian's sitting here, and Wesley's sitting here, but he's sitting on a log. So best thing to do is go outside and get yourself a tree branch. Kind of want to make this simple on me, but I found this piece and it looks great. So I'm thinking about just chopping this portion and using it. This is great. So I'm going to use my Dremel and start chopping this thing. Perfect. Alright, so here's the log. It looks like it's gonna do the job. Start gluing some of these details on there. So I'm going to figure this out. And I'm going to be using some watered down glue, and I'm going to start testing some of this out. So maybe I should spill. Okay, so let's do that right there. We spilled some right there. I'm gonna spread it out. So I'm doing this by hand, and I'm just gonna wait to see what the results look like. I think for now this is so far good. Alright, next up, experimenting with new items here. There's this field grass that gives you that realistic tall look. It's supposed to give you these tall grass bushes right here. So looking at some of the instructions, that's what I got so far. So it's not bad. It's not bad. Definitely gonna be playing around and just kind of spread it around a bit. So I got this grass right here. I'm gonna twist it. Right. I'm gonna dab it and see what happens. So I'm gonna keep going at it and see how much I can fill it in. So this is where there's the apples, they have the drinks, and I'm gonna lay this white cloth on top of it. I don't know if I'm kinda being picky, but this is way too white. Yeah, it's more like a beige, so I'm thinking about getting some warm buff and putting a little bit in the water. Let's see what comes out of this real quick. Boom. Hell yeah. I'm gonna put some glue, watered down glue. This is exactly what I needed. Boom. So the reason why I want it wet is because it's gonna be able to catch the form that I need. This is gonna take time to dry, but that's fine. I prefer it. And that glue's gonna help it keep it down. And alright, so it's time for some accessories. We got 3 apples, a little cheese, loaf of bread, like half of it, and then wine, and then some rope. Whoa. Prime them, base coat, and then get into the details. So let's get to it. So next up, I'm gonna do the bottle of wine accessory. Got some epoxy and kind of shaped it. It has a string kind of wrapped around, so I was able to get a yarn and just cut it out. And basically, what I'm gonna do is just roll it And then after I get it the way I want it, then glue it down. So now I grabbed, and now I could just that's where I'm at. Give him a little corkscrew. This thing is actually black, and it kind of has like a brown, like a light brown dry brush. So I'm gonna paint this black, and then get into the dry brushing of it. Wiping off the excess. Bring out the detail. That was great. Not bad. Alright guys, we're almost done, and I'm gonna work on the last part. And the piece that I'm working on can work with a backdrop or without a backdrop, so I want to make a backdrop just in case I want to use it. And for this presentation I'm going to use one. So here you can see that I printed the background from Princess Bride in that scene. Fix it a little bit in Photoshop, and I'm going to be using this poster board that is made out of foam. I'm going to use as my backdrop. So planning to do is just glue this piece in the back, and then have extra piece down here so I can connect it to the base of the dial. So I'm gonna be using some tacky spray. Voila. And I think it's time for the reveal.
So, it is down to you, and it is down to me. If you wish her dead, by all means, keep moving forward.
In that case, I challenge you to a battle of wits.
For the princess? To the death? I accept.
Good. Then pour the wine. Where is the poison? The battle of wits has begun. It ends when you decide and we both drink.
What in the world can that be?
What? Where?
First, let's drink. Me from my glass, and you from yours.
You guessed wrong.
Da-da-da-da. Here is my Princess Bride diorama, and this is that classic scene where Vinzzi and Wesley have a battle of wits, and they have a drink, and one of them are poisonous. And just because of Vinzzi, McFarlane gave us Vinzzi, and I was like, you know what? This is the perfect scene, just to have them all together. And it's kind of even funny that I made this dio, and but for those that do know this movie, you guys would definitely recognize off the bat. Alright, and in regards to the diorama, it's not a complicated diorama. It's just a base, did some rocks, and then printed out background that could be just removed and added, and then really focused on the vegetation, the plant life, the asphalt, and really this was more of a test for me, because I've been trying to get into static grass and trying to see if I could what could I accomplish without the tools, because in this realm there's definitely tools that help you get the execution that you want, but like always, I always want to just understand the mistakes, understand why, and understand what's probably the best method, and then work from there. So I've seen some of these tabletop games, and they make these giant dioramas, and some of that vegetation really looks dope. Here you can see just sprinkling it on my own, pasting it one by one on my own with as like these tall ones over here. Then I started because this is just like the mountains, they're not gonna be perfect grass, so that's why I didn't mind just kind of sprinkling it on. So the other thing I definitely enjoyed was the accessories. The accessories were really fun I never really made fruits and cheese and bread, and then that cork, you know, that wine bottle was definitely actually I enjoyed it a lot. It was actually easier than what I thought. But yeah, just to put those details there, just for those that do know about the scene, when you see it off the bat, you know what you're looking at. So alright guys, and so that's it. This is my diorama. It was a simple dial, you know, it was back to the basics, and this is really just sometimes when I need to warm up, I'll go back to those basics. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. Hit that like button, write a comment, and if you haven't, hit subscribe. Guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
Exclusive.